In this video, we'll be taking a look at 3 NBA games happening on March 13, 2023, and providing you with free team picks and total picks for each one of those games. So 2 picks for each game, 6 picks in total. Welcome back to Cash Out Sports. Let's dive right into it. Oh, and don't forget to subscribe and to click the bell icon to get notified as soon as these videos get released, so that you have more time to plan out your bets as we provide these videos on a daily basis. I can guarantee that you'll have all the important information that you'll need on these 3 NBA games after fully watching this video. One more thing before we start. If you would like to gain access to our best exclusive betting picks to take your sports betting journey to the next level, then check out our Patreon in the link down below, where we offer our best bet single picks, best bet parlay picks, and much more. Now let's get started. Indiana Pacers versus Detroit Pistons. The Indiana Pacers meet with the Detroit Pistons in a Central Division clash on Monday evening. These division rivals played on Saturday in a game Indiana won 121-115. The Pacers also won the first meeting by a 124-115 score. The Pacers are 4-1 against the spread in their last 5 road games and 7-2 against the spread in their last 9 games overall. The Pistons are 1-6 against the spread in their last 7 Monday games and 1-4 against the spread in their last 5 games overall. The over is 4-0 in Pacers' last 4 overall. The under is 4-0 in Pistons' last 4 Monday games. The Pacers are 3-7 against the spread in the last 10 meetings in Detroit. The Pacers are going to be shorthanded again as Miles Turner, Tyrese Halliburton, and Benedict Mathurin are all out, while the Pistons are still without Isaiah Stewart, Hamidou Diallo, and Marvin Bagley. In 2 contests this season, it's been Indiana winning straight up and against the spread. They were favored in both games and cleared the spread by 7.5 points in one game and 8.5 points on Saturday. Over the last 5 games for each team, the Pacers are averaging 19 points per game more than the Pistons and shooting 4% better than them as well. The Pistons are just spiraling to the finish at this point. They are also extremely banged up, and while Indiana is as well, Detroit's depth issues are much more evident. The Pacers are 4-1 against the spread in their last 5 road games and are 7-1 against the spread in their last 8 games when their opponent allows 100 or more points in their prior game. The Pistons are 1-4 against the spread in their last 5 games and are 1-6 against the spread in their last 7 games played on a Monday. The Indiana Pacers just beat the Pistons on the road a couple of days ago, and they need to do it again to improve their playoff odds. The Detroit Pistons have been in tank mode much of the season, and they lose at home by an average of 6 points. I expect much of what we saw on Saturday, so the Indiana Pacers to win and cover the spread as favorites is our full game side pick. The Pacers' best strength is the scoring. They are piling on the points, scoring over 120 points in 7 of their last 8 games, and that includes meetings against the Celtics, Mavericks, and 76ers. Indiana averages a whopping 38 3-point attempts per game and should have more success against a Pistons squad that ranks 19th in 3-point defense. In addition, the Pacers will give up points. They have squandered 115 or more points in 4 consecutive games, and the Pistons have scored 115 points in each meeting against them. The over is also a convincing 4-0 in the Pacers' last 4 games. I expect a barrage of scoring. Over the projected total is our full game total pick. Minnesota Timberwolves versus Atlanta Hawks. The Atlanta Hawks are hosting the Minnesota Timberwolves on Monday in a showdown between teams fighting for playoff position. This will be the first head-to-head meeting between these teams of the season. The Hawks and Timberwolves will meet against in Minnesota on March 22nd. Looking at the betting trends, the Timberwolves are 2-7 against the spread in their last 9 games playing on 2 days rest, 4-1 against the spread in their last 5 road games, and 8-3 against the spread in their last 11 games following a loss. The Hawks are 7-3 against the spread in their last 10 games following a loss, and 2-5 against the spread in their last 7 games playing on 1 day's rest. Head-to-head, the over is 7-2 in the last 9 meetings overall. The Timberwolves are 0-5 against the spread in the last 5 meetings overall, and the Timberwolves are 1-4 against the spread in the last 5 meetings in Atlanta. The Timberwolves are shorthanded again as Jalen Noel is out and Austin Reeves and Rudy Gobert are both questionable, while the Hawks are keeping an eye on Bogdan Bogdanovic, who is listed as questionable for this one. Minnesota and Atlanta find themselves battling in their respective conference for a spot in the playoffs. The Hawks are in 8th place in a very tight Eastern Conference race, while the Timberwolves are hovering around the 7th seed in the West. Atlanta played a poor second quarter, giving Boston an 11-point lead that they would not relinquish in a 134-123 loss at home. The problem for Atlanta in this game was their three-point defense. Anthony Edwards struggled down the stretch last game, but I expect him to bounce back in a big way here and hit at least 5 threes. Minnesota has been struggling at home, but they have covered the spread in 4 of its last 5 road games. The Minnesota Timberwolves are dealing with injuries, as they're also still without Karl Anthony Towns. The Atlanta Hawks are healthy and continue to play their best ball at the moment, and this is a game they should win at home if they're serious about playoff seeding and making a run. The Timberwolves have been below their best lately. They could be missing some players, and they are only 0-5 against the spread in the last 5 meetings overall. With that being said, the Hawks have been struggling as well, but they are almost at full health, and I believe they can take care of business at home in this spot. So the Minnesota Timberwolves to cover the spread as underdogs is our full game side pick. The Timberwolves are 3rd in the NBA in pace, and if Gobert does not play, we could see that pick up even more, with Minnesota also struggling more defensively. The Hawks are 9th in pace and have been much stronger on the offensive end as of late. The over has cashed in 7 of the last 9 head-to-head meetings between these teams. Over the projected total is our full game total pick. Utah Jazz vs. Miami Heat. The Miami Heat play host to the Utah Jazz in a contest that is riddled with playoff implications. Miami sits 7th in the Eastern Conference and is 4.5 games back from avoiding a play-in scenario. The Jazz are sitting in a 4-way tie for 9th in the West. The Jazz were unable to get the win at home last time these two squared off, and the Heat have now won the last 4. Looking at the betting trends, the Jazz are 6-2-1 against the spread in their last 9 road games, 2-0-2 against the spread in their last 4 games against a team with a winning record, and 7-3-2 against the spread in their last 12 games overall. The Heat are 2-8 against the spread in their last 10 home games, 7-20-1 against the spread in their last 28 games against a team with a losing record, and 4-13 against the spread in their last 17 games overall. Head-to-head, the over is 4-0 in the last 4 meetings overall, and the Jazz are 0-4 against the spread in the last 4 meetings overall. The Jazz are still missing Colin Sexton, who is out, and Jordan Clarkson is listed as questionable, while the Heat are keeping eyes on Kyle Lowry and Caleb Martin, who are both questionable. The Jazz have been well below their best lately, but they're starting to heat up with a couple of wins on the trot, and they are a solid 6-2-1 against the spread in their last 9 road games. The Heat will be kicking themselves after dropping a close game to the Magic in their last outing, and they are only 2-8 against the spread in their last 10 home games and 4-13 against the spread in their last 17 games overall. I'm not sure what the Miami Heat have done to deserve to be laying these sorts of lines, but I'm not buying it. The Heat have been inconsistent all year. They take 2 steps back for every step they take forward, and they win by an average of 1 point as favorites. The Heat also have a lot of players questionable for this game. The Heat have issues winning games, let alone by large margins, so the Utah Jazz to cover the spread as underdogs is our full game side pick. While the Heat typically like to slow the game down, 3 of the last 4 games between these two have gone over this total by at least 10 points. Utah sits right around the top 10 in pace of play, but they have continued to rack up the outside shots and sit 6th in three-pointers made per game. Meanwhile, the Miami defense falls to 28th in that same category. Utah has allowed the second most shot attempts to opponents per game and has been poor closing out possessions as well. We should expect to see a rather high volume of shots here, as neither defense is particularly strong in areas their foes like to generate shot attempts. The over is 5-1 in the last 6 between these two. Over the projected total is our full game total pick. That's all for now, so if you have any other games you would like reviewed, then leave a comment down below with the game you would like analyzed. Subscribe to our channel, leave a like on this video, and we'll get to it as soon as we possibly can. We would also love to hear your opinion on the picks presented to you in this video, whether you agree or disagree with them, so leave a comment down below and do let us know.